When you hear the words Mankato, Minnesota, what do you think of? Do you think of the home of the Minnesota Vikings training camp? What about the home of the Mankato State Mavericks? Maybe you think of your favorite children's writer, Maudhart Lovelace, who wrote Betsy, Tacy, and Tip. Or maybe, more recently, you saw the clip from YouTube of the drunk KEYC news anchor from Mankato, which was shown on Letterman. When I tell people I grew up in Mankato, these reactions are very common. But did you ever think of the Dakota Uprising of 1862, which led to the largest mass execution in American history? No? Don't worry if you didn't think about that. Most people don't. How do we remember a history which is long since forgotten? Think back. When did you learn of the Dakota Uprising and the hanging of 38 Dakota Indians on the day after Christmas in 1862? Maybe you talked about it once in 9th grade American history? But most people do not know about this dark part of American history. Let me tell you a little bit about it. In 1858, 1 month after Minnesota became a state, a delegation of Dakota Indians were forced to go to Washington, D.C. and sell their lands to the government and move to a small strip of land south of the Minnesota River. For giving up their lands, the government promised them annual annuities to help them adjust to their new life on a reservation. They also received a minuscule 5 cents per acre, which totaled out to be roughly $266,000. But of course, almost all of that money went to pay off debts. Over the years, the annuities of goods and money often ran late, or not at all, and the Dakota people were starving. Chief Little Crow knew his people were becoming restless and asked them to remain calm. However, when they heard that a local store owner by the name of Andrew Myrick stated, "As far as I'm concerned, if they're hungry, let them eat grass." 4 young Dakota men were infuriated over this comment and the starvation of their people, that they killed 5 white settlers who were hunting on the reservation. The Dakota Council decided to go to war the next day. Myrick was the first to die. He was found dead with grass shoved in his mouth. Henry Sibley led the attack against the Dakota Indians. The Dakota conflict lasted from August of 1862 until late December, when the Dakota Indians surrendered and thousands were captured and held prisoner. Trials were held for 2 days and 303 Indians were sentenced to death. Abraham Lincoln came to Minnesota and pardoned many, but 38 Indians were hanged on December 26, 1862. It was, and it still is to this day, the largest mass execution in American history. So, what now? Why don't we talk about it? How do we remember a past which is long since forgotten? Well, there is Reconciliation Park. This buffalo sculpture resides on the space in which the Indians were hanged. I don't really consider it a park or a memorial since the buffalo is the only thing there. But what else? Well, there is Land of Memories Park, which is in memory of the Dakota Indians. But, oh yeah, it's located right next to Sibley Park, which of course celebrates the man who led the war against the Indians. Kind of ironic, huh? In my experience, it has almost been ignored because no one likes to talk about an unfortunate past. But why not talk about it? Why do we ignore this long since forgotten past? Why? How can we remember it?